All right, welcome to Jack Dodson'S Racing Insider News this week, man. We got a full house in here, Jack.
I know. That's that's the way I planned it.
I didn't know you had that many friends.
Well, none of them said they was friends. They just said they were coming to the show.
I just asked if I could pick on Scott. He said, yeah.
Oh, hey, when he said that, I said, you're in.
It's funny. I see DJ this weekend. I said, look, after you left, Jack asked me, he said, did you talk to him before the show? I was like, no, I ain't never met him before. He's like, because he was nice till you showed up. He was laughing. All right, let's see. Got to thank our marketing partners, WALTRIP Pressure Wash Solution, Power Wash Solution Pressure Wash. What the hell? And he'll tell you a couple of jokes at the same time. Turn 2 Synthetics, same person. Hunter WALTRIP. Thanks for coming on board this year. Got to thank GRIER and Associates with Mean Dean Automotive. Safety Clean and Performance Plus Motor Oil. They're very good to us.
To who?
Langley Speedway to us, Jack. Us.
Now, you know us too, and I ain't got nothing from it.
Langley Speedway, Chuck Hall, Bill Mullis allowing us to do the show here. Bonduran't Brothers Distillery. One day Jack's gonna go get us some product. MAYHEM Management, MPM Marketing, Black Acid Racing Apparel. If you need a shirt, 10 shirts, 5 shirts, 1 shirt, we got some shirts coming.
We got some shirts coming this week.
Hopefully this week.
Well, I've said that before, so I'm not going to get excited yet.
Yeah. They're not the fastest. Let's just say. Got to thank Gen X Motorsports for presenting the show this year. Gen X Motorsports Driver Development and Race Rental Program. I know they did show up here Saturday. They came all the way from Pocono. SLINGER Speed Company, if you want a local shirt done, go see Tim, and Tim will fix you up. VA 811, call before you dig. Factory Canopies and Fluid Logic. And pizza is presented by Papa John's. I thank them for most of the time providing us pizza. Huh, Jack?
Well, now that I'm going to get it.
Delivery is not a problem now. GAC, Great American Company, which has been with us for a long time. With that, Jack, what's the news, man? We had some good racing this weekend.
Let's talk some racing this weekend. We'll start out with the Cup Series. Denny Hamlin won. That was a very, everybody was pulling for him to win that race. Everybody was cheering.
I was a little surprised by that move, to be honest. Because him and Kyle, they're buddy. They're buddies.
Yes, they play basketball together and everything.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff together. So I was a bit surprised with the.
I'm not sure they're going to be doing any vacations together for right now.
Yeah,
it'll be a little while. In the Truck Series, Kyle Busch got his organization's 100th win, and it was also Toyota's 600th win in racing. The ARCA Series, Jesse Love won. Xfinity, Austin Hill. Here at Langley Speedway, the Hampton Heat, Brendan Queen got the win. That was a pretty good race. It was a
good race.
Brendan pulled his normal stunt, just kind of pulled back a little bit and waited till after the halfway mark. Here he comes. But he's pulling Connor right along with him, though. So
it's funny because I was watching the first half. I was down there, and I don't think anybody got lapped except a couple that got in an accident and didn't finish. And so everybody was riding so much. They probably running mid 17.5s to 18.5. So there's a few laps there. I thought they would wait at least till 150 or so, but it seemed that as soon as this halfway break happened, they picked up the pace. They lapped up to 6th place, I think it was. I was surprised at how quickly.
In the early stages, in the first 100 laps of the race, they were basically 1.5 to 2 seconds slower than they were in practice and qualifying because they were riding. Everybody was riding. It was kind of funny how Hermie Sadler kept saying, "Well, they're just riding right now to see what's going to happen." Well, nothing happened until the halfway mark, so that was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, who was it led most of it? First half of it?
Nick.
Yeah,
Nick Smith.
That's right.
Nick Smith.
Yeah.
Woody Howard.
And I was wondering how where they want to be able, where they're burning it. I didn't think they were burning their stuff up, but I didn't know how good they were going to be. They qualified well.
Well, I thought Woody's always been good at saving tires and tire management and everything. He's been really good at that. Well, then when the second half of that race started, Woody had nothing. I mean, he fell back. And
well, I mean, I just don't think they had the speed really, and I think they were just using the tires up to get up front. It was kind of funny to watch the first 20 laps because you see guys on the outside drive past the whole field, go up to like third or fourth, and then they get knocked back, and they would just drive on the outside, just drive by everybody, and like they're just riding so easy.
But the thing that got me the most, Peyton Sellers wasn't as competitive as he normally is. I mean, towards the end of the race, he got a little bit better, but he wasn't as competitive as he normally is.
I did expect him to be better.
So, in the Legends, Tyler Hughes returned to the victory lane. I think it's been 8 years.
Something
since he wrecked Dominion and hasn't really been doing anything racing.
Cole Bruce didn't jump in his windshield this time either.
No, they got there. Super Streets, Landon Abbott got the win, and in U cars
still officially.
As of when I started this, it was Landon Abbott. I ain't gonna call nothing else. Don't start nothing when you can't finish, okay? In the U cars, a whole
lot of controversy going on over there.
In the U cars, Slayton, something, whatever his name is, he got the win in the U cars. At Dominion this past weekend, the Dominion Modifieds, Kayla Searles got the win in both races. In the Virginia Modifieds, Shannon Morano got the win. And in the Virginia Racers, race number 1, Reed Murphy, and race number 2, Alex Brock. Down at Wake County this past weekend, the Bandos, my buddy, I don't know if it's your buddy, my buddy, AIDEN ZSCHIEDRICH got his first ever win, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, could you imagine him and his parents? I mean, as much as he's been through, he's had a lot of health issues, and to been in and out of the car and then finally win.
So he's going to be with us in a few minutes, and later on in the show, and we're going to talk to him about that. Up at Pulaski, late model race number 1, Mike Looney, late model race number 2, Kyle Dudley. Down at Hickory Motor Speedway, they ran 2 late model races down there. Mason Diaz got the win in both of them. In Florence, Doug Barnes Jr. got the win in the late models. Out in Orange County, Carter Langley, who didn't come here for the Hampton Heat, which surprised me. He didn't come here, but he went to Orange County, got the win in the first race. Buddy Isles Jr. got the win in the second one. Up at Lancaster in the New York Superstock Series, Garrett Zacharias got another win. So he's won 3 on asphalt, 2 on dirt. Probably could win one if he had a bicycle out there. I don't know. Down at Five Flags, Jeremy Doss got the win after William Byron was DQ'd.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Another guy got DQ'd. I mean, that's
a big time guy got DQ'd.
Yeah. And some news from today. Bono Mannion is now the crew chief for Ty Dillon, and the number 77. Our buddy Kevin Bellacourt was relieved of his duties. And
that was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, that was kind of a surprise. I thought they were.
Did you talk to Kevin?
Not yet. I haven't talked to him yet. Southampton Motor Speedway has got their, I guess what you call their list of races coming up. Now it's a drifting races, and not regular races. They're drifting, but their open house and grand opening is August 19th and the 20th. And go out and check it out. We'd like to see Southampton County support that and be there. And on the 8th, all 3 guys from Southampton Motor Speedway will be with us on the 8th before the grand opening. So we'll have them here too. So, and that's all the news I got. Joining us now, or with us now, Donovan Edwards, the Virginia Racer Limited Late Model, whatever y'all call that series. Got your first win. Huh?
Yeah. I don't. Last race, I didn't really deserve that win, so I felt good to.
Okay, now you sound like Nate. Phil Warren always said when you look at the statistics in the year, there's no asterisk beside anybody's win that says because such and such got a flat or because such and such whatever.
Well, Donovan, if you and Nate both feel like y'all don't deserve to win, I didn't see y'all turn the money in the chat and the stuff back.
I don't remember ever
I'm just
getting,
teasing.
I don't remember ever getting a check.
You always don't remember how you won. Just that you got it.
That's right. So you got to win, and you got to win. So that's a pretty big deal. So, what's the season been like going up to the Virginia races? Or
It's definitely been a challenge. Coming from the Pro 6, it was, I don't think I've spun tires once last year, and you're spinning tires multiple times in the race and the limited. So just power control and tire control and trying to manage all your tires and keep it in till the end of the race.
so Mason Dunn does your tires?
Yeah.
you see, you laugh first, right?
Well, you won in spite of that, so you're good.
He does a good job.
So
Now, do you like this better than the Pro 6? Is
No.
this a lot more fun?
A whole lot more fun. It's a lot more challenging just to drive it itself with not even racing anybody, just trying to drive it fast. It's a whole lot more challenging.
well, the competition level in that class, you gotta look at the competition level. I mean, you in the Pro 6, you only had like one car that you had to, that was out there.
Scott.
No, there wasn't Scott. No, it wasn't Scott. Hey, come on, really? Don't say it was Scott.
I think I raced with Scott one time and he got jumped in one lap.
And feet.
But Scott's still learning. He's getting
I am
old and
too.
still learning. And he don't even know which pedals to push when it's time to go. So, that's.
We'll figure it out eventually.
We're all learning. So, yeah, all right.
So has this been fun for like you and your dad doing a lot more stuff?
It's been fun for me.
You didn't sound real. You don't sound real positive, though.
I know. I don't know if it's fun for him because I'm working on a race car is not a whole lot of fun in general most of the time, and he's working on 2 now, and I don't know. He's just putting a lot more stress on him.
Well, I'm sure he's probably more concerned for your car than he is his own in some ways.
100%. I think that's pretty much the reason why I'm running better than he is this year. But he's about to send his car off and get some work done to it. So hopefully we can figure that late model out and get that faster. So.
But now, just what is a year or maybe 2 years ago, you didn't really have aspirations to drive, right? Or maybe you did a little bit.
Yeah, I did, but I didn't know how to get into it until Mason Dunn told me to show up to the shop every day and show my dad I was interested in it. And I did, and eventually he just told me we're going to get a race car. So
Who started dropping the hints to your dad?
Mo Mason.
I was gonna say thanks for Mason giving you a little push.
I never asked my dad anything. They asked for me, so I'm thankful for them. So
How much input does he give you during races or after practices or whatever?
Oh, whole bunch. It's kind of hard for me to take it all in because I know everything he's saying is worth a lot. So I don't know. And a lot of the times I'm trying to disagree with him any way I can. Just I don't know, just because he's my dad. So
Now, how do you disagree? And this is a good question here. How do you disagree? Now, you got an uncle that's a 6-time champion. You got a dad who's a 6-time champion. You won 1 race. So how do you disagree with him?
it's hard. I don't know. I've disagreed with him my whole life.
I've been begging him. I've been sending him messages, calling him. I want him to come on the show. We've had Greg. I wanted him to come on.
It only took you 5 years to get Greg.
I know. And I finally, he said, well, he said, when I start running better, I'll come. Okay, well, I said, okay. Donovan won the race. Now I'm going to get him. You watch, I'll get him. He still wouldn't answer to come on the show.
You got an interview the other day. I forget who it was for. Late Model Digest or something. I don't know, something. But he had an interview and he came back into the shop. He said, I got an interview for somebody. And it was about you. It wasn't even for me.
That's pretty funny.
Pretty pissed off.
Was he?
Well, I mean, you get to that point where you're not.
That's pretty funny.
He's
though.
not racing for himself now. He's Donovan's dad.
Right.
It don't matter anymore.
I hope he can race for however long he wants to race. I don't know. At least five more years, I'm hoping so.
You ain't gonna let a seat get cold anyway, right?
I'm good with staying in a limited until he's done. So if he, I know it would be pretty much impossible for us to race together unless we don't. I mean, we have a bunch of help, but I don't know if we have enough help.
All right, wait a minute. How's it impossible for y'all to run together? I'm sure I can get Mason and some of his buddies to help you get the car ready to go race against.
That's not the problem. I don't think he will allow him. I don't think he will allow that. I don't know.
You don't want to get beat.
He don't want to fix two tore up cars.
Yeah,
He just wants to fix one.
Two is a lot.
normally
Yeah,
he's
we know.
the crew chief when I'm racing. So
Okay.
Now, does that add pressure? Because obviously you come from a different background, right? You have a lot to pull from, and people expect, or maybe not expect. They hope to see you run well, and you are, right? So, but I can imagine that brings a lot of pressure too.
yeah, it does. I think it's helped me to just get over the fact that I was never the confident person. I still am not a confident person. I'm trying to get better, but just push myself and get over the fact of everything. And I feel like I should run well, and no matter who my dad is or whoever. So it just is what it is.
No, but I will say the confidence thing. I can guarantee you, every person in the stream has that same issue, right? We all do. Except when you're running and you win in every race, then it's like, you're Superman. But just as soon as that stops, because it will eventually.
Has anybody in this room won every race? Chuck, Nate, I know you won one.
You doubt yourself all the time.
I mean, Riley's a prime example. Last year, his head wouldn't fit through that thing. Now he's pretty humble. But that's the truth.
Remember him at the end of last year when he come on the show. We couldn't shut him up. I mean, he used to start going crazy. This year you can't. You got to go up to him and you got to get him to talk now.
He's not. He's down on himself. He's not running well, right? I mean, it's compared to what he had last year, and couldn't do anything wrong, and now you can't do anything right, and that happens. And it doesn't mean, but the point is that we all have those things. We all don't have confidence at times, but that happens. But you're still young at it.
The first thing you ever raced was that Pro 6?
Go-karts when I was like 7, but yeah.
Dude, all right. Yeah, your confidence should be higher than it was.
Did a little
running
iRacing.
real impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think no more than an experience that you have. I think you're doing well.
Yeah, I think just being out here my whole life too. I grew up out here, so I was just watching it. You learn a lot just watching it over 20 years. So
Yeah, and especially we have all the wins that Edwards family's got. I mean, it's huge.
you learn a whole lot more. I learned a whole lot more about racing in the past 2 years than I had in 20 years. So.
Now, does your brother and sister give you a hard time? Are you the new favorite? No. I don't know. If Jack raced and his brother raced, and one of them had to be the favorite, one of them wasn't.
No.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. One of us had to be the favorite. It wasn't damn it me. I can tell you that.
I mean, I'm the only one that lives at home still. So
Well, I didn't know if your brother and sister would be like, "Oh, yeah, Donovan's getting a race car. He's the favorite."
They both went to college and I didn't. So
You're spending your college money.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal there.
Yeah.
So tell us who all your sponsors and who all helps you and everything.
Danny's Glass, Corvette Parts, Keen Parts, TJ Sports Tavern, Impulse Lawn Care, Absolute Vending, Frontline Vapes, and Dunn Racing Enterprises, Mason Dunn. And I think that's about it.
That's pretty, And you know, and I'm impressed that you won a race, even with Mason Dunn involved, because you know, that's unbelievable to do that. But it's got to be fun to be out here and win a race, so you got to be excited about that.
It definitely feels great.
What was going through your mind in the last few laps?
Oh, I don't know. It was kind of deja vu from, I don't know, the 57 on my inside from previous couple weeks and getting climbed up. So it was deja vu, and I wanted to give him the inside lane no matter what. So I was going to stay up high. I was too high. My dad was screaming in my ear, telling me to get down. I was just going to stay high no matter what.
So your dad does give you advice on
yeah,
the radio?
He was screaming. He was like, feed it down, going down the straightaway, just work it down.
Did you listen?
Eventually. 3 laps into it.
So in other words, when Dad talks, you kind of just let it go this way through, and you do what you got to do.
Who was it said they would just unplug their helmet? I forget, somebody told me that.
No, I mean, it's hard to listen in the moment to anybody, so it's just.
Yeah, he ain't in the car, right? He don't know what it feels like.
I know no one's telling him what to do, so when he's in the car. So.
I don't think anybody has the guts to talk to him. Man.
I don't.
It's coming over. Hey, you need to get a little lower.
Have you ever been tempted to grab a radio and go, "Hey, what are you doing out there?" No.
That's the whole thing. If I'm running bad, it could be me. That's all I tell all my buddies. If my car is running bad, it could be me. It could be the car. If my dad's car is running bad, it's 99% of the time the car. So it's not him. But it could be
Well,
wrong.
he's got what, 20 years, 25 years.
I
I don't know, probably 30 years experience or
But
more.
the thing is, I couldn't resist it. One time I'd have to pick up that. What are you doing?
That's probably because he's smarter than us, Jack. We would say that.
I
We
have
wonder
to
why,
do
we, why our car won't ready next week.
Well, that's exactly right.
That's why you weren't the favorite, Jack.
And you're exactly right.
It's just you opened your mouth too much.
Yeah, and I did. And, well, we'll talk about that some other time. But anyway. Well, Donovan, you won Driver of the Week for the week you won the race. And you won it by 1 vote.
Thanks, Nate.
And Nate voted for you, so you get to win. So that was pretty wild.
That was a good win, dude.
Thank you.
So anyway, I will get you your certificate and everything that we got for you. Sorry I didn't do
Before
it
the
today.
end of the year.
It'll be all right. You got a bank.
I'm-
It'll be good. Hopefully, get a couple more.
Yeah, maybe you get a couple more. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. But I'll get it to you. I promise. I just with everything going on this week, I never got a chance. But
That's all right. Appreciate it.
we appreciate you coming by and being with us.
Let him out, Jack.
And
Thanks,
Thank you.
man.
Thanks again for
See
coming
you.
by.
Thank you.
Next time, I want you to tell your dad I want you because he and I talked, and I mean, he knows I want him on the show.
All right.
I don't want to start calling him Rodney Brickhouse.
I'll see y'all.
Good seeing you, man. Congrats on that win. Yep.
You do.
All right,
Appreciate it, man.
who wants to go next?
Go ahead.
All right, let them come in. We'll let them come in. Both of y'all can come on through. Yeah, we'll get both of you in there at the same time.
Bring a drink.
I'll go
Yeah.
on the other side. We'll give Scott a chance on some pizza.
Yeah.
A day will do.
Actually, I'll slide it in. No, I'm good, man.
All right, joining us now are the Morgan boys
Yep.
doing the big time late model Virginia racer, whatever you want to call it, limited late model Virginia racer stuff.
Yeah,
Yep.
limited.
So first question, somebody asked me to ask this question. I ain't gonna tell you who it was because you'll probably, but they told me to ask this question. Is there any rivalry between the two of you?
Oh yeah.
No, not at all.
Never. No.
Not a bit.
We do keep a little tally who's where.
Oh, yeah, there's a
if we're,
tally.
if
There's
we're
a
not
tally.
running too good, we're still trying to beat each other.
Yeah.
We're not gonna wreck each other, but we're gonna.
Yeah, you got the nicest mom in the world down here.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
see her.
She's
I talked to her.
huge support for us.
Is
I
that
wanted-
the PR lady?
She's one of them that helps on our Facebook group. So
Yeah,
she does. But yeah, of course, I mean, she's the smiling face you see coming in here, so
Yeah,
she's always happy.
I
to be
want
here.
I wanted to talk to her this past weekend,
Mhm.
but I wasn't here because of other things. But I wanted to talk to her. I said I was going to see if I could find out some information, and I didn't get to do that, so I don't have anything. So if you got anything on your brother you want to bring up,
Now's a good time.
Yeah. Nobody's listening.
Well, his tally's bigger than mine right now, so he's got me beat this year. So
So
A few months ago, I went to their shop to buy some of their own grand stock stuff. When I walked in the door, you two were talking trash to me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I just stood there for a second
That's-
listening, and the old dad was smiling in the corner listening to you.
Oh, yeah.
Shaking his head.
yeah,
That's what kind of fuels each other.
yeah. We go back and forth pretty much every night in the shop that we're in there, but it's
how did y'all get started in racing? We'll start with you. How did you get started in racing first?
basically, I mean, like we had talked about up here for the interview before with on the Saturday, it started with go-karts. So we started out here in HRKC. My dad actually bought a old racing go-kart that a guy down the road from us had. And we had, I don't know if you're familiar with the old Tillotson system on the flatheads. And I mean, he was 9 years old. I was 11 years old. And he said, well, if you're going to learn, you're going to learn with something that's fast. So he put us in there, and we used to go out to the old Fort Eustis go-kart track. And you could go out there, racing carts could go out there on Sundays. So he would take us out there and put us in, and we would take turns and
I just
go
put a
out
pad
there.
in, obviously.
Yeah, there's
At
a
9
little
years old.
size difference.
70 miles an hour, 9 years old.
So, but yeah, we learned with something much faster than we were ever going to learn on out here, and then we kind of started getting into it, coming out here on Sundays, and Dad said that was the most expensive go-kart he's ever bought in his life. So here we are, 22 years later, and hadn't missed a beat since.
So what all divisions have you raced in? I know you've raced in other ones, but
So myself I've run in U cars, late model, stock car. I did run late models when I was 16 to 17, and then I've run in grand stock, super street. I've run a couple races, and then now limiteds.
I ran U-car, go-karts, obviously, U-cars, Super Street, Legends, Modifieds for a while, and now Limited.
Yeah, I think the only two divisions that between us two haven't run is Pro 6 and trucks. That's it. So yeah, pretty much run.
How often do y'all race in the same class together?
Last time we did was U-cars.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2011 was the last time that we raced against each other in the same division. That was U cars. So this year it was kind of he had run the modified for I don't know 5 years I think, and
Yeah, 5-6 years, something like that.
kind of wanted to try something different, and I ran limiteds last year and enjoyed it. It was I had a ton of fun, and so we kind of looked at what route we wanted to go with him, either get a different modified or maybe try and see what we could come across with limited, and ended up coming up with a good car for him. So that's
Is that
where
why he's outrunning you, or
yeah. He's wearing me out this year, so it's all good. I'm happy for him. I mean, of course I want to beat him. We have a huge rivalry against each other, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's for both of us, so it's but yeah, little brother's been wearing me out this year, so it's good though. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, we want to see both of us run good at the end of the day, but
okay.
I always want to beat him.
Last lap of the race.
Oh, he's getting moved.
Okay,
He's getting a
no
bump.
doubt. Yeah,
He's getting a bump.
moved. I'm not gonna wreck him.
Yeah, because we got to work on each other's cars. So
all right. Now, has there ever been a point where the two of you get so mad at each other in racing somewhere along the line? Doesn't necessarily mean this year or whatever, that you say, you're gonna get yours.
not in racing.
No,
Not
I
in
don't
racing.
think so. No. No, I mean we've we get irritated with each other, but at the end of the day, I mean the other side to it too is when we come out here, we are a small team. So we've got friends that do help us out on Saturdays, but when we're at home, it's just my dad and us two working on the cars generally. So, we got to rely on each other. If I need something welded, then I'm going to him, or, if we're working on a motor or something, me and my dad will work on his motor, or he'll chip in wherever. I mean, we just kind of fill in the spots. We just kind of, at the end of the day, we can argue and go back and forth to each other, but at the same time, we also know we're going to get the job done, whatever we got to do. So, it's a lot of effort. I mean, like Donovan said, with 2 cars, and we're doing it in the same division this year, with us 2, and it ends up being, 4, 5, maybe 6 of us down on a Saturday, and you're hustling all day from the moment you get here to the end of the night. It's a lot of work. So, we get mad at each other and angry and yell and, get pissed off. But at the same time, when it comes down to it, we got to get it done and make it here. We got to rely on each other. So
I feel kind of bad because I think I'm the only one in the room that got pissed off and pushed my brother out. But
now, I mean, I guess if it came down to the situation, if I got wiped out or something, then afterwards we might get a little riled up. But
I don't want to have to spend more time in the shop working on his car.
yeah, you just don't want to be around him.
Yeah.
Let's keep your car straight. I don't want to be around you no way.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it's got to be fun
Oh,
for
yeah.
the 2 of you to be there to race together. Your
Oh, yeah.
dad being a part of it. That's
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
what it's all
yeah,
about. That's what-
absolutely, yeah, definitely.
and
So
have the. I mean, come out here and run in the Virginia races. I mean, that's a big division. That's getting to be.
oh yeah. I mean, I think we're anywhere from usually 16 to 18 cars so far this year, for the most part. So we've had a pretty big car count, and for the most part, this season, both of us have stayed in the top 10. So I mean, I've had a couple nights where I've slipped back a little bit further, but for the most part, our average is usually somewhere in the top 10 for both of us. So
The top 10 in that class now is not getting easy to get.
No.
Yeah, it's a whole lot different than it was last
yeah,
year.
it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, you're doing
Yeah.
something just getting in the top 10 now.
Yeah, I mean, you have some people that are putting a lot of resources in those top
Yeah.
5 or 6
Yeah.
cars, that-
Oh yeah. It's tough to get up there. I mean, it was, this past race that we had, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So
The 3rd place finish I had, I mean, that felt like a win for our team. It felt great. Something to really build on. I mean, it was something we needed. A good confidence booster.
oh yeah.
So, how much time do y'all spend on the cars during a week? I mean, you gotta be able to be out there probably every day with 2 cars.
It's
Prepping before the race, a lot of
Yeah.
times every day during that week.
yeah.
When we have like a 4-week break like this, we'll do 2-3 days, during the week, just so we have family life and my wife's not yelling at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, it's usually this little bit of downtime has been kind of nice to be able to kind of recoup and kind of get some things straight that you've put off, trying to either on the cars that you've had to wait on, or whatever you needed to do even around the house. But we try and do 2 or 3 nights a week during the week, and then like if we're not racing on Saturday, we'll do Saturday most all day, and then we come out here and we'll watch the races out here. And then the week prior to the race is usually kind of jamming out. You're kind of getting the cars loaded up, getting everything straight, and making sure it's squared away.
With all the years that you guys have been in racing, and and your family's been involved out here in racing and stuff like that, that's got to be huge to, you get to know these people, get to know what's going on.
Oh,
So,
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, like Donovan was saying, I was actually racing with Danny and Greg when I was 16 and 17. So, it's been a long time. Mark, Casey, all those guys. When I was coming up and trying to move my way up a little bit, we didn't have a lot of money. My dad is basically the one that funded everything for that. And it was kind of one of those things where trying to get my foot in the door and work my way up. He was still running go-karts at the time because of his age. He was actually at the age where at that time period here, he couldn't even come in the pits because he was so young. So he had to sit up in the stands and watch. So, but yeah, it's I mean, being out here for so long, and you know, our family and stuff. It has been a big thing. It's been a big part of our life. We grew up here. You know, this is.
It's like everything just like you wouldn't know what to do on a Saturday night if you didn't.
Oh yeah, when it closed down, it was, you know, I think it was scary to everybody that races out here and comes out here and watches.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, you start thinking about things like what would I do on a Saturday? Well, this is what I do on Saturdays. You know, this is all I know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's this is my life. This is what I enjoy to do. This is what I work for to be able to come and do this. So.
When you first started running late model, was it every week then? Still?
Yeah, it was every week then. So that was the predominant lap count at that point was 100 lapper.
Right. Yeah.
So you were racing almost every single weekend. I mean, you had a few breaks here and there, but it was almost every single weekend that we were running. And
I know it's crazy to think back because I mean, I was helping on late models. I mean, every week, 26 weeks. Every Saturday and then like it wasn't that hard then, and now it's like you race every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, and
Which is
like,
nice.
It is, and it's like I don't even have you don't have enough time now.
Yeah,
like I don't know how you did it back then.
Yeah.
But it seemed like it was easier to get help then, right? Like it seemed.
Yeah,
now it
and
just seems
I
to be
think
not as many people as involved.
I think it's I think some of the difference. I mean, it's hard to say. So I mean, back then you had, kind of the old school technology and people were doing things back then. Now you have everybody has not everybody has the resources, but everybody has the opportunity to go get good technology to run better. If that makes sense. So
right. Back then you could go buy what everybody else had, right? Because it was a limited. Everybody had the same stuff. It's kind of how you tricked it out or whatever. Right. Now it's technology has come in and it changes so quickly. Where before you could have the same setup and literally not do anything to it and run competitively or win every race.
Right. And like our division is so competitive because there are a lot of young guys coming up. Donovan's one of them. There's so many, Jacob, Derek, Aiden, all those guys, they run very well and they're very quick at week in and week out. And you look at qualifying times and you're talking almost 18 cars within 1 second of each other. So, I mean, it's a very tight field, that's stacking up in there and just to find that little edge, like, okay, where am I lacking? Or, was it just driver error that lap? It's tough. It's very tough.
Yeah, qualifying is becoming a big deal in that class. So sometimes you qualify bad, you're like, wow, I might only be able to make 4 positions up here.
Yeah.
That hard to get to pass.
Yeah, it's track position is like basically if you can, I mean, unless you've got a very dominant car, you need to start up front. I mean, it's putting you to the point where you've got to dial yourself in on qualifying as good as you can to at least give yourself a shot to be up there. Because it's so the cars are very even in a lot of ways that it gets tough to pass and you're not having that huge advantage over somebody, where you're gaining so much, tenths and tenths over somebody. It's, you're barely getting there lap after lap, especially like a 50 lap race.
And then you got to manage your tires, right? Right. You can only get 2 tires, right?
Yep. You got 2 tires. You got the 2 tires from the previous week. And so you've got to manage that. You can't burn the right rear off, right off the bat, 10, 15 laps into the race. You've got to try and manage that to make the whole stretch and be, consistent through the whole 50 laps. So he did it. He's done it really well this year. So I probably haven't done it.
He's done all right, but yeah, we had a good run this past race. So. And I was surprised I was able to pass as many cars as I did, but I was able to kind of manage my tires a little bit, kind of make it last towards the end of the run, and it worked out. So hopefully we can duplicate it, and it wasn't just a fluke run.
yeah, that's the key, trying to get that consistency and stay up there. Yeah. So
I know it's funny how you can come out here and things do really well, like you run well, you qualify well.
Right.
You don't do nothing to the car, you come back next week and you're out to lunch, right? And you're like, what the fuck did
that?
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things, you can start scratching your head pretty hard in that situation. And it's tough too because, having that 4-tire consistency is nice, but I like the 2-tire rule. I like where it is. It controls the price. It keeps the class, where it needs to be. And then a lot of that can be where it can throw the car off. Those 2 left side tires that you're moving over to the right for the next race. If it doesn't size out right, the stagger
I was going to say, is it
playing
hard
that.
to manage your stagger with having to rotate lefts to rights, or everybody
Usually
does
it's
it
not-
differently.
Usually it's not terrible. It just takes a little bit of effort. We don't, Mason. He's got his hands full with a bunch of guys that he does tires for. We do ours, but it's kind of one of those things where we kind of do everything for ourselves for the most part.
Running back and forth all day long.
So yeah, just kind of.
Tires themselves are work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I did that for years.
It's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it doesn't seem to be too bad to get the stagger out of them. You just got to kind of gauge when you initially buy the new ones, and then you kind of set yourself up for the following race at that point.
That's pretty cool. It's got to be fun though. Just
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was definitely easier when we ran different classes because I could be out in the pits. Our dad would spot for both of us then, and then I could be out in the pits ready in case something happens. Now, we had to get 2 of our friends to help, and one of them's his spotter, and the other one's in the pits waiting for one of the cars to come into the pits.
Yeah.
So you still got dad spotting for you.
Yeah, Dad's still spotting
he's
for
got
me.
his dad
He's the
spot.
favorite.
He's the okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'll
The
tell
day-
you get
the
to
day-
that.
Yeah, I figured that question was coming. I was waiting for it. So
That's what I was wondering. He must get the good stuff, So when Greg first started racing, that was the deal.
That's right.
So Danny got all the new stuff, and then what Greg got was Danny's hand-me-downs, and that's the way it was until James Long came along, and
Right.
he got all the hand-me-down stuff.
Yeah.
And that's actually was like kind of the determining factor whether he'd drive for James or not, because James had new equipment, and he's like, maybe that's not going to be a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, I joke because it's funny at the time when we started talking about getting him into the limiteds with me. I had a spare motor in the shop already, and so we had his modified and everything, and we sold his car. We still had the motor and stuff, and kind of weren't sure where we were going. We came across a late model and got that, and we said, well, we got to figure out motor wise what we're going to do for him, and we had the spare motor, and I said, well, let's put my spare motor in his car, and now my spare motor's wearing my tail out. So
I said if it was dog,
I had to go over there and work on a little bit too.
Yeah.
A little bit.
yeah.
I said if it was dog slow, I just won't run the year. But it was,
So
it
right
worked
now,
out.
That's
it's
even
running
worse,
good.
man. You get outrun by your own stuff,
I
man.
know it's bad, isn't it?
So
But,
God forbid, knock on wood, what if you lose your motor?
well, I'm out
You
to
gotta
lunch.
pull this
He's
out.
probably gonna
Some-
pull my
some-
motor
He's
out.
running better
Somebody's
than
gonna
me,
be
so
sick.
he'll keep running. So
I'll be Flintstone.
yeah.
Better not
So what
take them
motor are y'all running?
We both run
Chevy builds.
the Chevy built. Yeah, the
Okay.
355 Chevy built. So
I'm not even sure what the rules are for that. Is it kind of the late
pretty
model rules?
pretty
tires,
much the
except
two
for-
you got in the division right now is you either got the 604 crate or you got the Chevy built.
Okay.
The old steelhead late model stock car motor. It seems like they've kind of got the rules pretty good to where they're pretty evened out, because you've had Cody, he runs a built like we do, and he's gotten a win. You got Jacob Derrick and Aiden; those guys run 604s. So it's kind of, do you see an advantage in different ways? I guess maybe at some aspects, possibly. But I think it also, I came across good deals so that I couldn't really pass up. So it was kind of one of those things where I was like, this is the direction I'm going to go, because financially this is what I could do. So,
well, I think when the class first started coming about, that stuff was fairly economical to go get.
yeah, it wasn't terrible. It was.
I don't know if it's changed since then.
I wouldn't say
You know
certain things probably were comparable to like what you were spending on a Grand Stock,
Mhm.
price wise. But you know, as it goes now, obviously the class gets more competitive. You've got to kind of start looking in different avenues and different things of like, okay, where can I get an advantage? You know, what can I do to, what am I lacking? What do I need to do to, you know, kind of put myself, I mean, they always say, you know, time is speed. You know, what does a 10th cost? What are you willing to spend to get there? So,
Yeah.
Who built your motors?
mine is actually a older Billy Banks motor.
Mm-hmm.
And the spare motor that we have in his car is, I believe, an older Charlie High motor.
We had to knock the dust off that thing.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Actually, I've had it in the shop for years, and just kind of sitting, waiting, kind of deciding what direction when I had the Grand Stock, and we sold that car, and it was like, all right, well, let's take a leap, let's go for it, let's give it a shot. So we acquired my car first, and that's when I started running last year, when I moved back to the area, and then we got his car, and it was kind of full steam ahead at that point.
Well, I think it's cool that, you know, you two race, your dad's a part of it, and y'all make decisions as a group.
Oh yeah,
Not just one person at a time.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And if we didn't have Dad, we couldn't do it without him. There's absolutely no way. So
I mean, other
This
than
is
him
how
being
brothers are supposed to race, Chuck.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. If it comes down to it, where we're running up front like that, we're gonna rub on each other.
Oh, they
I mean,
never ran.
we're gonna push. You know,
or Jack
we're-
never ran up.
we're gonna beat on each other
You
a
know
little
what?
bit. But
Well, when he parked the car, he had to be in front of the field at one point. Right?
Nate.
That was from the stand. That was from the stand.
Nate.
That was to watch the race.
Nate, show's over. You can go on. We ain't gonna have this over you beating the other week. Man, do that no more. Anyway, that's really good that you two have that kind of relationship. And,
oh yeah,
and
yeah.
do that. Tell us who all your sponsors are and who all helps you with the car.
Oh well, one we had last year and came on board with us again this year was Wavelength Technologies. He's helped us out tremendously, and hopefully we can keep the partnership with him keep going. And we're definitely looking for more sponsors. We got a few more.
Yeah, Morgan Graphics, which is myself doing the graphics on the cars, and we got Katie, our sister, Southern Route 757. She cuts her hair for free.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
slide a sticker on the car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, every little bit helps.
And then we got State Farm Trevor Jones, and he's been
In
with us
Yorktown.
for years
Yeah.
in Yorktown. So
Yeah, he's probably been on board with us, I think, about 5 or 6 years. So he's been a huge help for us and kind of buying our fuel and helping us get some tires and stuff here and there to kind of keep us going. I mean, predominantly we fund it ourselves and come out here and try and,
So what kind of job do you have or your full-time job?
I'm a radiological instructor at the shipyard. So
Okay, I know what that is.
yeah, right. So I teach nuclear skills to the trade guys there
okay.
that work on the ships and submarines.
I just knew he meant he was smarter than us.
Well, I knew that.
I wouldn't say that necessarily.
When he
but
started the conversation, but he started
Yeah.
with radio. I said, okay, I'm done.
yeah.
What do you do?
I'm a pipe welder at Jefferson Lab.
Oh,
Yeah.
Another one. Anyway, well, guys, we appreciate you coming out and spending some time with us. Man.
Yeah,
It's
thank
really,
you for
really
having
great
us.
to have you and
Yeah,
be a
thanks.
part of it. Good luck to you the rest of the year.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Get you back on.
absolutely.
We'll get you back on here again sometime real soon.
Quit letting the little brother show you up, man.
Well,
Step
I've
up
been
a little
working
bit.
hard on mine, trying to get there. So our next one is August 12th. So that's the goal is to get up there at least with him.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
I might not beat him, but at least I can get up there with
Just
him.
get the bumper to him.
Yeah, yeah. He's gotten it once or twice so far this year.
Go in the shop in the middle of the night, just switch by.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, we're
He's gonna
always
need my help to do that.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we're always looking for more sponsorship. If anybody's looking to get on 2 cars in the Virginia Racers, I mean, obviously we're one of the more exciting. I wouldn't say more exciting; they're all exciting, but I would
It's
say
become a
more
very
car
popular-
count. It's
Yeah.
a very popular division out here. So, if
Yeah.
anybody's looking for some advertisement opportunities and we're definitely looking for more partners to help out and join and see if we can keep getting some decent runs.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys coming, and
You got a little metal on your side.
I know.
All right, thank you.
It's
Yeah.
hard to work with people like this.
That's right. Thank you, dude.
No, man. Thanks.
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Jack,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
absolutely.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Good to see you, Bill.
Nate, you want to come on over and get in?
You ain't my friend no more?
Man, well, you and I had a deal when you come here.
We had a pact.
I didn't say I was just gonna pick on Scott.
No, you didn't, but you did say you were. That you ain't got to agree with him, that's for sure. All right, Mr.
It is what it is.
Mr. Nate.
Yes, sir.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna turn it over to Scott. Let him interview you because you obviously gonna talk trash to me.
Why are you so blue, Panda Bear?
It's, you know, I didn't do a whole lot there to deserve what you said. You know, about parking and stuff.
Hey, low hanging fruit.
Wait.
Robbie Parker told me to say.
You know, I'm about sick of that name.
I think you should have him on.
I asked him to come on. He's got something down the road he wants to come on for later. Later on.
Okay.
So anyway,
You'll be all right over there.
well, I hope so.
Okay.
There was a couple days last week I wasn't sure how I
Yeah,
was doing,
yeah, glad to see you're getting better there.
but I'm a whole lot better. So tell us about that big win. I mean, you know, you did something Scott couldn't do. So
I was gonna say, dude, I spotted you 4 years. You were in a full size car for 4 years.
Was it 4 years? I think it was 3 years.
It was
But either way.
It was 4 years. You couldn't get one. Now we're ignoring the fact that there were circumstances.
We're different. But that's all right.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking? I seen you. I mean, obviously, I seen. I'm like, Nate, what?
I thought
What the hell?
I thought of Mike Parker in the 22 and I were going to line up with each other. And I'm not sure if something broke on his car, but because of the rain delay,
Oh
they
yeah,
switched with the schedule and they really didn't give us any notice at all. They said, grand stocks get out immediately.
Yeah.
That's what they said. And we're, oh. So I don't know if something broke or it could be that they didn't fuel his car because we thought we were going to be much later. But anyway, that would have been fun because we were running about the same lap time. And it
He's
would've been a
gotten
good
better,
race.
but I got to give you credit. You've been fairly fast.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's face it.
competitively.
I raced a grand total of 2 years of enduro cars, and I got in the grand stock last year. So there's a whole lot of people out there that have forgotten more things in 1 week than I have ever learned.
Mhm.
So, you know, for me, I'm having a blast and
Well, that's
getting
the main
better, and that's all that matters. Because
Mhm.
when Steph and I decided to do this, it was like, if we're not having fun, then we're going to stop. So, I mean, having a great time, and trying to get faster and be in contact with leaders is kind of the goal. And every once in a while, those leaders run into each other and have some problems, and the object
They
is
do
to
in
be
this
there to
class,
take
like-
advantage of it. Yeah. It's kind of rough. But no, we came to the green flag. I had a good start. Ludno outside of me, and I was like, well, I'm going to try and not get past before turn one. We got to turn one. I saw his nose over there, and we came out of two. And Bear, who was on here last week, who's my spotter, awesome spotter, said clear by 8. And I'm like, how the heck am I clear by 8? Where's Ludno at? So, of course, for a second there, I'm looking up in my mirror, and, you know, I'm sure Bear was yelling at me, but I was trying to hit my marks. And then the next thing he said was, you're clear by a country mile. And that was it. And he's Bear. I got to believe him. But at the same time, I'm thinking there's absolutely no way this should be happening. So then he gets on the radio. He's coaching me. Just
Now,
saying,
how many laps are left?
3.
Over.
Yeah, we took we
Felt like a long 3 laps.
restarted on 27.
Okay.
So then he just started saying, clear by a country mile, don't mess up. And as soon as you say don't mess up to me, then I'm going to start acting a fool. And, you know, for the next lap, you know, I was a fool. But then I calmed down enough and won by quite a bit. And, of course, because a win was so far into the future, I hadn't really been had any thoughts about what I would say or what I would do, or
Well, that's
or even
great.
how I'm gonna. Man, I was terrified I was gonna drop that checkered flag. In fact, Steph called me on that. She was like, "How worried are you about dropping that flag?" I was terrified. And then I'm driving around. I'm like, "Yeah, I got it out the window," and then I almost dropped it on the backstretch. So
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, that would have been fabulous. But no, man, it was awesome. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming. I don't have a background in racing. I mean, the first time I'd ever been at a racetrack was, in fact, you're the first idiot I met out here, dude. It was in 2014, the Hampton Heat that went to like 3 in the
Oh
morning.
yeah.
Steph and I had started dating, and Caitlin was in go-karts, and she said, "All right, look, I'm going to bring you to the track to meet some of my friends, and because if you don't enjoy that, then we probably don't have a future
Did you get
together."
the pep talk before you came? Like I guess Eric and them got the pep talk to be nice.
I didn't get any pep talk, but yeah,
I didn't get the memo until after.
apparently not. I remember that conversation. But we get to the track, and the first fool I meet is him. And
Well, your luck is like
Steph introduces me to him, and he zinged me, and I zinged him back. And from then on, man, it was good times and good people, because like I said, racing is not in my background. We didn't have any tracks near where I grew up, so.
I'm sorry that Scott was the first person you met when you come here.
It actually turned out good though. Honestly,
It would.
Because actually, afterwards, I walk over, I see Eric, and Eric's like, "Hey, look, Stephanie called me. She's bringing this guy. She's like, we need to be real nice to him." I'm like, "Oh, well, I already broke him in. He's fine." I said something to him. He said something back. He's gonna fit in just fine. Don't worry about it.
I didn't know him from anybody near.
So
Zinging me
I
hard.
don't remember what Stephanie's. I can't
You were
remember what her
questioning-
face was.
You were questioning my sexuality.
Oh, I know what I said.
Oh!
She called her. She's like, "Hey, this is Nate." I was like, "Oh, is this the gay guy you're telling me about?"
Yeah. So I don't remember what I said back to you, but apparently it was.
So like it takes one to know one, or something along those lines.
So yeah, so I'm trying to get better, but I make a ton of mistakes. I don't think I've really put it together a good lap, because I'm that idiot that I'll go into one and I'll think to myself, "Man, that felt really good." I have to remember that. And by the time I get out of 2,
You forgot
because I was thinking about what worked in 1, I'll mess 2 up, or same thing with 3 and 4, and it's just.
Well,
you know,
1 and 2 people don't realize is a difficult corner here.
It is, because you think you're out of the corner, and then there's stage 2 of turn 2.
Right.
And
It's
if you've
kind of
gotten
a
into the
double
gas
turn.
too hard, then you're just the back end's gonna come around on you. And Bear is always screaming in my ear, "Too early, too early. I need you to do another car." And he's super calm. He's a great.
I take he
great
is actually
spotter.
a really good spotter. I mean, for no more experience than he has, I think he does a really good job. I mean, I listened to that one with him, and I still kind of laugh about him and
and
Underwater.
Hunter. Yeah. God damn, 3 wide. All right.
Yeah, I don't.
It's like, they're like, "Don't do that again."
We've had a few of those too, and he yells at you when he needs to, and he's a psychologist and calms you down when he needs to as well. So I can't say no good things about that.
Yeah. I mean, and he's a nice kid. Right? Well, he ain't really a kid anymore.
Right.
But to you and me, he's a kid.
But you know what? My biggest mistake this year thus far, when I filled out our NASCAR renewals, somehow I hit the wrong thing on the form. And when our licenses came in, Steph's my car owner.
Well, she is.
So now she'll come on the radio or she'll yell at me and be like, "You don't start driving better, I'm going to put a new driver in that car." I mean, she threatens me with that all the time. I can't wait.
I
for
know
that.
she tells us. She says she told Eric to be nice, and then she's telling us to be nice.
Yeah. Well,
And
and
Gary
you weren't.
Keeper
You
said
were never
well,
nice.
I didn't get the memo. I was late to the memo.
Let's take a break for a second with Nate and go ahead and get Aiden on here. Don't want to interrupt his bedtime.
Hey, I heard that. I heard that. Don't.
I want you to get to bed on time tonight. You need to rest.
I usually am in bed by about 9 or 10, so don't.
Okay,
I'll
all
bring
right.
my suit next week.
Now, you did interrupt my dinner, so.
Oh, I did? Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
No, you're fine.
all the
Hey.
for your mom and daddy, I mean, I feel sorry for you. Hey, I tell you what, last week when you got that win at Wake County, I couldn't have been more excited for anybody in racing than you last week. That was
Thank
pretty
you.
fun. That was pretty
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So what was that like, man? What was going through your mind them last few laps?
I was just trying to focus on running my line and blocking on TJ Moon where I could. He was doing really good and he was pushing it hard.
And it was not you didn't just run away from him. He was right there the whole time.
Yeah, he was right there. I'd say I was probably one mistake away from getting past.
He was giving you a fit there for a little while right behind you. So I kept thinking, oh man, here we go. Let's just hang on to it. You did a great job. You did a wonderful job, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh, Jack, I heard you were sick. I hope you're feeling better.
I'm getting there.
You coughed on purpose, didn't you?
Well, I can't help it. Sometimes it just pops out there, like you know. So,
Jack had to find somebody that'd be nice.
Yeah, I did. And somebody I like you, Aiden, I had to bring on the show because so far I ain't got nothing over here.
No one got any to laugh yet? Not even Phoenix?
No, I saw Phoenix was on here earlier, and I'm going to tell you what, that video she did of you racing there at the end of that race, I'm going to tell you, that was a cool video.
Yeah, that was really cool. I haven't gotten a chance to thank her yet. That was an amazing video. And she looks so happy, too. I haven't seen her that happy in a long time.
Well, I mean, you know, y'all teammates, basically. I mean, that was a big deal. I mean, to see you all do that, especially with everything that you've been through. And we won't go into all that, but everything you've been through with the surgeries and all that stuff, and here you are with it. You stuck to it and made it work. So I'm proud of it.
Yeah. Surgery, single. I don't want to go through that again.
Well, yeah, true. But I'm saying with the surgery and what all you had to go through to get back to where you are, I mean, it just takes somebody that's going to stick with it and has that need to want to do what you do. You obviously have a love for the sport.
Yeah, I really do. I've had for a long time, and I don't want to stop anytime soon.
Well, I hope you don't. I think you can keep going. I hope someday you're going to move up and do some legends and stuff too, you know.
Yeah, I might. I definitely think a bucket list thing would be to do stadium super trucks. That would be fun.
Oh,
that actually seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Maybe even Baja. I don't know.
Well, tell mom and dad to get off the money and go on and let you get one of those and go on about it.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, it ain't no big deal. Mom and dad can take care of that for you.
No, I don't want to be one of them daddy's money things. No.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Might be a good thing. You never can tell. You know, I talked to your mom several times. I think, you know, she might be willing to, you know, talk your dad into doing something different.
No, I think it's probably the other way around.
Oh,
is
okay.
it? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, it had to be fun for you. And I know it was fun for your mom and dad that win the other night, but you know, when I saw your mom and dad's face and the pictures and stuff that I saw, I thought that was really cool. That they were just as excited and thrilled for you as anybody. I mean, that's really.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will say though, Phoenix caught me off guard when she ran to the pit and splashed me with water.
Yeah. But I mean,
She took a bottle and just right into my face.
Well, you know, your mom and dad are very supportive of everything you do, and I think that's very cool. And you know, I've never met your mom and dad personally, but I'll tell you what, I feel like I know them, and they're special people. So you're very
Yeah, they really are.
You're very lucky.
And I also can't thank them enough for quote unquote funding this little operation we got going.
So, what are your plans for the rest of the year? I mean, what do you got going on the rest of the year?
Not much other than racing. I mean, school is going to be a pain in the butt once it gets going again. But we have, other than that, I'm definitely going to plan to go back to Southern a couple times. Gonna try to come back to Langley, see you guys.
Yeah, but you know, your mom and dad been telling me you've come to Langley, and I ain't seen you yet. So,
Well, I'm waiting for you to come to Wake. Remember, we made a deal that I would go back to Langley when you came to Wake.
well,
No.
you didn't have to do that these 2 years. You know that?
So I'm still waiting for you to come to Wake.
You know what? I'm gonna get down there somehow or other. I'm gonna get down there one time to watch you race down at Wake.
I can't wait.
Hey, is Joe Staples still working down at Wake?
What?
Is Joe Staples still one of the officials down at Wake County?
I think so.
I think he's the head official, ain't he?
I don't know. Well, that's all right.
I know he's not the tallest, but
Yeah.
Heather said yeah.
Oh, yeah. Your mom said that he is still there, so that's pretty cool. Well, tell us all about your feeling when you got across that start finish line. How were the emotions when you got across there? I mean, I know you've been looking for this for a long time.
Yeah, I was really happy. I will say one thing though, my dad yelled in the mic and that about killed my ears. Yeah, when someone asked me what happened to my ears. No, it wasn't racing it with my dad.
Well, I mean, he's got to be excited about it too. I mean,
Oh yeah.
He's going to, hey, look, that's another question. I've asked this question before tonight, but your dad spotting for you or being on the radio with you, how does that work out for you? Does that work out good for you?
Yeah, it really does, because we pretty much know how each other is going to act, so it really helps us to connect, and he knows what to say and what not to say whenever we're on the radio.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of times that doesn't work out when a parent.
I can't imagine spotting for Caitlin.
You couldn't have done anything right.
I can't do anything right anyway. You met my daughter.
Right.
Aiden, you know, I just, when I heard that you won that race and saw that you won, I still hadn't come down off the cloud there because I remember all our conversations in the past and everything, and I thought this was really, really huge.
Yeah, you're up on cloud 38.
Oh man, that was unbelievable. First thing I did when on Sunday morning, my wife was asleep, and she got up Sunday morning. I said, "Hey, Aiden won the race," and she got to me and she goes, "Aiden."
Aiden?
I said, "You know who Aiden is?" And then it dawned on her who it was. And she said, "Well, that's cool. You finally got that win. So how many more are we gonna get?"
As many as we can.
Well, that's true.
When throughout the race did you think that you had a shot at winning?
I'd say right at the start when I actually got ahead of him, I knew I just had to hold it for 14-ish laps, and I did. There were a couple of times I was getting a little nervous, but I ignored that feeling and I just kept going.
Yeah, that's hard to do, right? I mean, it's hard when you know somebody's right on you, and this is your first one, and all the emotions. I can't imagine what you're going through, and it's got to be super gratifying to accomplish it in the end, you know.
Yeah, it really is gratifying. I will say though, TJ gave me a good fight all the way to the end.
Scott can say that because he's never won anything like that. So he can talk. He likes to talk to people who can win.
I don't know why I'm on this show then.
And then we get somebody like Nate on the show that he won a race, but now I'm beginning to wonder about that win.
Oh, I think it's a little suspicious or something.
Well, as far as big a win as he was, there won't nobody
Country
close.
mile.
He was way out in front, and nobody was close, and it's like they all quit.
Yeah, they had enough. They were too tired.
Oh, that's right. He may have cheated. We don't know that. So.
Nah, the rest of them just started parking.
No, he probably ate some pizza beforehand.
Yeah. Not like Scott. Scott eats all the pizza. I noticed everybody's been looking at it, but they won't touch it.
I had lunch today. Usually I don't have
appreciate
lunch,
the
so I'm
fact that
starving.
you came on tonight. I know you got a lot going on. And, do you race this weekend?
Yes, on Friday, Wake County has a doubleheader for bandos.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be real interesting.
Go get them, man.
Well, I hope you go out there and get a couple more wins. It'll be fun for you.
Thank you.
And
I
it's
can't
fun
wait.
for all of us. And I'm really proud of you. Great run, and let's do it again sometime real soon.
Okay.
All right, man. All right, you got any sponsors? Anybody you want to thank while you're on here?
Gillis Crane Service, Spine and Scoliosis Institute. They help a lot with the surgery we spoke about earlier. Johnson Subaru, they're really helpful. They got some dealerships around here. Milton's Pizza, we actually went to eat there a couple of days ago.
Oh, yeah, where did you go for the big party? Did y'all have a big party or something?
Yeah, we did a 2-part party just for the little family.
Okay. I noticed I didn't get an invite, so I'll just have to get on your mom.
You gotta go to wait.
Oh, we wanted to invite you, but you're a little far away.
Huh?
We wanted to invite you so badly, but you're a little far away.
You invite me on a Sunday, I might just show up. You never can tell. I won't this week because I'll be in Richmond. But anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I want you guys to get wheels up on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Crippin' Ain't Easy definitely helped a lot with the car and stuff.
Well, Aiden, thanks for coming on. Tell your mom and dad I said hi. And I really appreciate you being with us. And man, couldn't be more excited for you. I know it was a big deal.
Congratulations, man.
All right, man. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
See ya. I'm gonna eat dinner.
Okay, go
See you,
eat
buddy.
dinner.
Bye.
Take care, man.
Mark said ice cream on Sunday. Sorry, Jack.
This, you know, he went through a back surgery, and he was, he's had some health issues, and he went through a back surgery. And he was out of racing for like 8 months, something like that. And,
Most of a season there.
And then he gets back in the car this year, and like first or second race, he has a major crash.
Oh boy.
And first thing I thought of,
Mama.
yeah, and the first thing I thought of, oh man, that's not something you want to do with a back situation. Right. And evidently it didn't hurt. He didn't get hurt. Everything was good. But
Well, I've had a major back surgery as well, and you know, all the things I used to do that were fun. I got to the point where I couldn't ride my Harley anymore. Had to get rid of that. So that race car with that 5-point harness, it's one of the few adrenaline type things you can still do.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's awesome that he was able to recover from that, because you got to have something
As an
that
outlet,
keeps your heart racing in your life.
well, the
Otherwise,
thing
it's
of this kid though, I mean, he is. I keep saying he's something special, but he is special because he is a straight A student in school, top of his class, does all kinds of, he's into all kinds of activities and stuff. He still loves racing.
That's awesome.
And, you know, he's got other things to do. And I think it's really cool that he's well-rounded. And, you know, it's pretty cool.
I don't know how these kids keep up, but I couldn't keep up just trying to keep a grade up, much less, racing, doing all these other things, and keeping a grade point average that's higher than a C for me that was an accomplishment itself.
You know, most of the time when I got to see, I was happy.
No, I was real happy.
So my wife threatened to put Scott in my car.
I wouldn't worry about that.
She put that comment up there. And the worst part,
That's official.
it doesn't have a clutch, so we can't screw up the pedals.
Oh.
So, yeah.
No, he can't. He'll find a way.
When did you get some sleep that night?
All right, I may have buckled the trophy in on the passenger seat of the truck. And I got home, and I wanted to celebrate. Steph was already asleep.
Was she?
Yeah.
So wait a minute.
She left right after my race. She went home. She was asleep.
Wait a minute. Where did she sleep that night?
What are you talking about? Her or the trophy?
No, her.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the trophy.
No, her. Where did she sleep that night?
She was in the spare bedroom.
Okay, I figured the trophy's in bed with you.
No, that stayed in the truck for 3 or 4 days, buckled into the seatbelt.
Really?
Yeah, I actually forgot about it, and then when I went to get in the truck, I was like, "Oh, look at that!"
So you didn't carry it everywhere with you when you?
No, I didn't. I would catch so much hell for that.
Well, Scott slept with his.
Well, we were driving into Gloucester the other day, and her mom called, and she's in the passenger seat. And I can hear her mom saying, she said something like, "So is Nate's head still so big over the wind?" And I'm thinking, I can hear you. But,
And yes, it is.
yeah. You
I'm
want
the man
all
now.
that? Yeah. She better not put you in my car or her car.
That's right.
Man, that was a big mistake to make.
It's look good. Look, you just made it official. She was already the car owner.
Yeah, you're right. She
I mean,
was.
let's be honest.
She was from the get. No, she puts up with a lot of crap. But I'm just.
I mean, I'm sure she was even excited over the bed.
Oh yeah, she was, but she's not gonna let it go to my head. She's gonna call me every chance she gets. You know.
Yeah.
But, no, it was a good time.
So now, has your expectations for the rest of the year changed a little bit?
No, we talked about it at the beginning of the year. It was a tough start to the year. We were working on a sponsorship thing, and we're at the early stages. Then we had the tire issues, and so that kind of fell apart. So then we were like, well, are we still going to do this? And we decided we were going to do it. And then we're like, well, maybe we'll do a partial schedule and see how it goes. So it's really tough competition at the top of that division, you know, and the car's not there yet. And I'm certainly not there yet. It was going to be a learning year. So we're like, we can finish in the top 5 in points. Awesome. You know, top 3 would be amazing. And I actually kidded Bear about it and said at one point to him, I said, yeah, and if the stars align and I could get you to have to run down those stairs to come to Victory Lane, that would be awesome. So Bear and I kind of looked at each other in Victory Lane and laughed, because I really didn't think that was a possibility. And, you know, neither did he and neither did Steph. So the year's a win. And now it's just keep on being consistent with it. I'm looking forward to get back behind the seat, because Steph and I have this amazing thing where if we do home projects, they escalate. And having these few weeks, man, we were going to put a path into the pool. And then Thursday afternoon, our goal was to take some pavers out and put a little path in. Then we ended up getting a path to the pool, a path to the fire pit, a new fire pit. We put piping in the ground so it could be gas or fire, and a dump truck load full of pea gravel. And we looked at each other last night and said, we're not doing a damn thing next weekend. Nothing whatsoever, because we take on these projects and they steamroll. So we were actually able to say it's cheaper for us to race than for us to be left to our own devices at our house. So
I'm gonna say, if stuff's like my wife, she's like, they only took them 30 minutes on that show. It's no problem to do.
there's been a few of those, but this is both of us. It's not her fault, not my fault. We're just
That's very diplomatic of you.
you know, when you buy a handgun and they got a cooling off period for every project at home, we need to have a cooling off period. You know, come up with the idea and then wait 5 days.
Robbie Moore said, don't put the wrong control arms on the wrong side.
I did that once. Yeah. I had the car decent last year, and I found a crack, and I took the control arms off to fix the crack, and then my dumbass put them on back on the wrong side. And I came here and went into first practice, and if there wasn't a wall over there, I'd have hit the wind tunnel, man. I mean, it was all over the place, and I'm sitting there looking at it. And I called Jamie Sample over, and I'm like, are those on backwards? And he immediately said, yes, they are. So while everybody else is practicing and qualifying, here I am on pit road with the car jacked up in the air and changing the control arms and swapping. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, hold on. Sweet sailing. I think I ended up third that night. Yeah, so when you're new at something, you make a ton of mistakes. And things like that happen.
Yeah, but I think you're right there close enough that I to be honest, Nate, I wouldn't be shocked that you could get another win, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, I think you're there, you know, and that last little bit's hard to find.
Oh, sure.
It's extremely hard to find.
That's the only thing, if you're new at this, you got a long hill to climb, but the guys that are at the top, the things that they find to get better at that point, you know, are a few hundreds here, a few hundreds there. Every once in a while, they might find something amazing and find one thing. But when you're climbing the hill, the chunks are a little bit bigger, and it keeps you going. But you know, it's tough. It's tough for everybody in every division. You know, whether they're brand new or experienced. And that's one of the best things about the sport is those challenges. I mean, I'm an engineer, so I enjoy that kind of stuff anyway. And if you don't come out here and be an ass, people will help you. Some of it works, some of it doesn't, but you can at least hear some of those ideas they have. And you know, every once in a while, a light bulb comes on, and you find a little something that helps. But
yeah, because it seems to be like in this sport, people they're not going to just tell you what to do, right?
No, of course not.
But they'll sometimes they will leave little nuggets.
Yeah.
And it's for you to sort of like
you've got to put A and B together equals C. You
Mhm.
know, and there's a lot. There's some good people out here. I mean, I'm really lucky. Doug Sample, I was able to start helping them, and then when I got the Grand Stock, they started helping me. I actually helped some when Caitlin was running the Super Street, and he's been huge. You know, the whole Sample family has been huge. Whether it's Doug or Jamie or Nick or Randy, and Donald Brown and Gates and that whole group welcomed me with open arms. And I mean, I helped with their cars and they helped with my car, and that's been huge. And then Gene Nichols has always, since Caitlin started racing, been there to bend an ear, and he does my transmission and rear end. And so we came into this year without a bunch of sponsorship, but the list of people, you know, Gene and Tony Spivey doing my engine, and Doug and the entire 28-24 modified team, and Donald Brown and Gates, and there's been no shortage of people that have helped along the way, and you know, that makes that hill a little bit smaller. Even if I just want something out in left field, you know, some of my competitors like Chris Roberts is always willing to listen, and sometimes they're like, well, you can try that, and other times they're like, well, I tried. And there's the thing, those guys with all the experience can be like, some of them will be like, well, I tried that back in 2008, and you know, I'm thinking 2008. You know,
I'm just coming up with an idea now.
Yeah, and the good thing is the cars really haven't changed that much, so if it didn't work in 2008, it probably ain't going to work now.
Yeah, but you know, that's really not true, though.
Well, with the limiteds and late models, I agree more than I do with the G body cars.
Well, things have changed, especially with those tires. It kind of changed how things work here.
I'll buy that. Yeah,
But I mean, I'm not going to say, but Parker was telling me that Robbie Parker with the Super Street that they had done some things that normally with the other car, this is the way it worked.
Yeah.
And they had to go the opposite way,
Yeah.
and it just kept getting better, and they kept going more and more and more. And it's just complete opposite from what. See, sometimes you may say that, well, that won't work, but you don't.
Right.
The only thing that doesn't lie is the stopwatch.
That is true. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then sometimes what works for you, you know, may not work for Jack, or vice versa.
Oh, sure.
You know,
Sure,
because
absolutely.
all of us, if you're not driving exactly the same line, it reacts different. And then the comfortability too. Like some people like a loose car, some people like a tight car. A loose car, some people can't drive it. Another person can. I mean, it just there's a ton of factors in that too.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. And
Some
then
people can drive it all, but
I don't really have a line. I've got about 30 of them.
Well, you're not alone.
Yeah, but it was 90 last year. And if I'm down to 30, it's getting
Better.
Yeah.
And it is hard to be consistent. I mean, but you got guys that have a million laps. They can do it blindfolded,
Oh yeah.
right? You know, I mean, so
Yeah.
There's
And
some
I'm still in that
differences.
stage where if I'm following behind Tim, or if I'm following behind Paul or Bill, my lap times are faster. And it's obvious it's faster because that's something you don't have to think about. You're just following the car in front of you. And I think that's true for anybody that doesn't have a lot of experience. But you know, it just takes time. Like I said, when I'm having fun,
that's
if
the main thing.
Steph isn't too mad at me, you know, then we'll keep doing this. So,
if I was doing them projects like you and Stephanie, I'd be divorced because we can't hardly. I think when we redid our kitchen, we're like, we can't do anything because we're going to divorce.
Oh yeah, are you?
Project.
hold
Oh,
on,
yeah.
hold on. How much do you do? Because
Not
every time I turn around, the wife's cutting grass, the wife's on the roof.
The wife's getting the leaves out of the gutters, and fool over here is just taking it. Yeah.
Hey, see, I got this shit figured out.
Rachel puts up a lot, dude. A whole lot.
She is a godly woman.
We were over at Vivian's one time, and I just looked at her, and long enough so it got a little awkward, and I was like, I just don't know how you do it. And she just started laughing. And she says, I don't know how I do it either. So,
Look, so this weekend or last Friday, Miles had a thing at the house. So I'd take Gary's Corvette and it got ceramic coated and stuff. She wants to keep it. So Rachel, she's working. They're having this party Friday night. She made potato salad. And she's like, I need you to come by on the way home and take this potato salad to Vivian's when you got the car. Okay. So I put it in the car. I go over to Vivian's. I leave. I get my truck my truck. I leave. Next day, Vivian calls me. She said, "Hey, I don't want to play the widow card, but I'm gonna have to play the widow card on this one. Rachel ain't gonna kill me." I said, "What?" She said, "You left the potato salad in the car all night." I said, she's like, "It's warm. I don't think it's any good."
Oh, no.
So she said, "When you text her, make sure you include me because I want to see what she says." So I text her. I was like, "Hey, I don't think one's going to be enough. I think we need another one."
Oh, no.
She's like, "Vivian, I think that's what she thought it was Vivian." She's like, "I think one is going to be plenty." And then she's like, "Wait a minute. You fucking left that in the car, didn't you?" That was $25, Scott. I'm going to fucking kill you.
That's the way you work. I mean,
We're men. That's how all of us work.
Yeah.
Always want to kill us all the time, and we deserve it.
well, I'm not going to say nothing bad about my wife on here because I have been through hell and back the last few weeks, and I couldn't have asked for a
No,
better situation.
Not until he starts feeling better. He ain't talking shit.
Yeah.
I still ain't gonna talk shit.
Oh, plus it's on video. We don't have any evidence.
Right.
I'll tell you, I've been through some stuff the last 3 weeks, and man, I've had about that all I can stand. Still,
Can't blame you there.
but look, she let me have her car to drive.
Man, well, she's really feeling bad for you.
So she let me have her. You know, I ain't got no front end, but I can, you know.
They ain't got you a rental car yet?
Oh yeah, I had a rental car last week, but we turned it in this yesterday. Turned it in yesterday, and she's driving her dad's car. So her dad's they got 2 cars, and only one of them can drive. So they gave her the other car to drive. So and she said, "You drive my car, and I'll drive theirs." So hey, you know, I can't complain about my wife. My wife was at the hospital every morning, 6 o'clock.
I'm not going to complain either. My wife lets her come out here and do this.
Yeah, because we know she's watching.
Oh,
I'm not watching. I can say all the shit I want.
Hey, I'm a
Oh, don't do
She
that.
ain't gonna
Because,
pay attention anyway.
Vic, I'll set you up.
We'll just call her. Send her the video. Right?
Right.
You need to go back and watch this.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, well, that's our show for tonight. We appreciate Nate being here. Both the Morgan boys, Kevin and Matt, Donovan Edwards, and AIDEN ZSCHIEDRICH. We appreciate AIDEN being with us after that big win he had this week. This coming Tuesday night, we're going to have Atlee Weiss on here. I do know he's going to be here after his win in the Pro
Man, the
6.
excitement he had.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it so
Yeah.
cool to watch, to see.
And one of the things I told him earlier, I said, "You've done something that Scott couldn't accomplish the whole time he was trying."
Yeah.
So
Him and Nate.
Atlee's good. That whole family's good people. We watched them.
I mean,
We were involved in the carts when they came into the sport. And, you know, they're just really good family.
yeah,
then-
absolutely.
and then the next
And I mean, we got to watch out because he's going to take our job before long. Atlee.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
he's
that
better at
kid
it
is
than both of y'all.
together.
excuse me?
You heard me?
Now, see, I ain't gonna say it. I was gonna say something nasty about you. Anyway, but anyway, the next week is the 8th. Scott won't be here. He's gonna be touring around the Caribbean, having a good time.
Damn.
And
I think I'll be
Brian
in the
White.
DR.
Brian White is gonna take your spot that
I
week.
was going to say, if you need somebody else, I'll shave my head so it's good and glossy bald. Not feeling for him.
Yeah, well, the only thing is
But hey, he's got Brian.
so Brian's gonna be with us, and then we're gonna have all the guys from Southampton Speedway are gonna be here that Tuesday night too. So, to tell us what all is going on out there, and I think I'm gonna go out and do some drifting.
You're going to do some drifting?
I'm gonna ride and do some drifting.
You're going to ride with somebody?
Yeah.
Oh,
We-
you got to
we
let me
got-
know when you're going. I need to get my GoPro together.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 of them.
I
On the
mean-
dashboard.
I mean, we did a ride along, and he screamed like a little girl.
I did not. Why is it you and Robbie Parker are the biggest liars on the earth?
That's why we get along so well.
Scott is, but I mean, I got to believe what Robbie says.
Twice in one lap.
Well, you got some issues too, then. Don't you? If you believe anything Robbie says. That scares me if you believe that. That's,
I can't wait to get that.
well, anyway, it was good to have Nate on the show this one time. Unless he goes on a 25 race winning streak, we ain't gonna have him back.
2 years straight.
Damn.
So, we ain't gonna put up with all that craziness. Anyway, see you next week. Please like and share our show, and we'll talk to you again next Tuesday night.